Hi everyone, here's some of what's heading your way tonight. Your news at 9.
COVID-19 has had a significant impact on many fields and industries in the area, including manufacturing. I'm Chris Warner with how local companies are trying to keep up.
Miami City officials hear from residents on a possible mask mandate.
More restrictions are announced as the coronavirus outbreak continues. I'm Laura Engel in New York. We'll have more coming up.
Doug Eddy has weather. Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. First thing is first, let's turn it over to meteorologist Doug Eddy. Doug?
Yeah, pretty good storms working through. These have been severe. They're kind of low-grade severe, but they are severe as we're getting very heavy amounts of rain. And not the largest hail in the world, but it's a lot of it. So a lot of areas are getting the ground covered with pea to dime, upwards to quarter-size hail. But the heaviest right now is really from Pittsburgh, all the way down 69 Highway, all the way down toward Riverton, Baxter, Galena, and then on the east side of Ottawa County, so pushing into Seneca and then down toward Grove. All these yellow counties, which we have Benton County, McDonald County, Newton County, Jasper County, and then Barton County are all under severe thunderstorm warnings as this line is quickly pushing off toward the east. So if you live in the Joplin Metro, if you're on the west side, these storms are really coming down. If you live in Joplin proper, Webb City, Carl Junction, Carthage, Neosho, you're going to get into the action here in about the next 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to be watching these, of course, through the hour, and I'll give you guys an update here in about 10 minutes.
That's amazing. That rain.
It's hard, yeah.
Here at the station, it's almost as loud as your voice.
Yes,
to me.
It is. It's pretty loud.
All right, Doug, thank you. Local manufacturers are seeing the impact of COVID-19 and continuing to make adjustments to production. KOAM's Chris Warner spoke with 2 local manufacturers to see what challenges they're facing.
2 local manufacturers are feeling the effects of COVID. We start at Modine in Joplin, which began making changes back in March, like requiring masks when social distancing is impossible, among other things.
We've also about doubled the number of break periods we have. Everybody has the same number of breaks, but there's less people at any one break, so that there's less people in a room at a time.
Across town is another type of manufacturing, chocolates at Candy House Gourmet.
We were already a food establishment, so we were already doing a lot of cleaning already. Thankfully for us, that meant we had things on hand, so when other people had to find a source for that, we already had that under control.
It's not COVID that's causing them problems directly, though.
It's a struggle to find people. They have sent us everybody they have, and that's it. And it's interesting with unemployment rate much higher than it was, say, 8-9 months ago before the pandemic. It seems like it's more difficult to find people now than it was then.
So we usually double, if not triple, our year-round staff at the Christmas season. And this year, we just don't have the applicants. We've been running a lot of different courses to try to get those people in, but we're just not seeing those numbers this year.
And that is putting a strain on workers.
Lots of overtime right now, which some people like, some people don't.
We've done our own internal changes to do some bigger batches and to do entire days of products instead of doing a little bit at a time, which has really helped our production numbers. We've been able to produce more with less.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Both Modine and Candy House Gourmet say they've seen demand for what they make increase within the last couple of months, and both say they're looking for skilled workers. The Miami, Oklahoma City Council met tonight to discuss a possible mask mandate. The meeting wasn't to decide anything just yet, though. Instead, it was a chance for council members to hear from residents about if they would support a mandate.
The house is on fire. We're getting exponential increase in our rates of COVID-19 cases, and the longer we wait to do a mask mandate, the more people are going to suffer illness and perhaps die.
The slippery slope. People don't understand truly what socialism is and what it means to start forcing things on people. When people do lose their freedoms, then they might understand, but how do you turn back? How do you go back to having those freedoms?
Well, some more Kansas counties have made decisions on if they will follow Governor Laura Kelly's new mask mandates. Crawford County has opted in to the new mandate. Cherokee and Bourbon County opted in as well. Wilson County passed their own mandate that would require a face covering in all public indoor and outdoor places where social distancing is not possible. That order will last for at least 30 days. Carthage City Council is holding a special meeting tomorrow to discuss a possible mask mandate. Again, Carthage tomorrow, possible mask mandate. It's going to be at 3:15 in the council chambers. The McDonald County, Missouri Health Department is reporting 4 new coronavirus-related deaths. That brings McDonald County's total deaths to 21. As for total numbers in the 4 states, Jasper County, Missouri has had 4,782 total cases. Newton County, Missouri reporting 3,027 cases. McDonald County has had 1,559 cases. Crawford County, Kansas sitting at 2,175. Ottawa County, Oklahoma has had a total of 1,652 cases. City of Joplin and Freeman Health System announced today Joplin's Christmas parade is canceled. Organizers say the decision was made in the best interest of public safety. Annual parade was scheduled for next Tuesday and had been modified into a reverse parade where the floats and participants are stationary and spectators drive through. Miami, Oklahoma is still having its Christmas parade, however, Saturday, December 5th, but other events have been canceled, like Santa and a movie, a business expo, Rotary pancake feed, holiday open house, and a ladies' night out shopping event. Now, you can find more information about holiday experiences planned in Miami by visiting our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Cities and states across the country are cracking down on social distancing ahead of the holidays as the new coronavirus surge grinds on. Fox News senior correspondent Laura Ingle has more now from New York.
The coronavirus outbreak is still spreading quickly, with almost 180,000 new cases added on Monday. There are also more than 85,000 patients being treated for COVID in hospitals, a new record for the 14th day in a row. Here in New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo is targeting what he calls microclusters of the virus, introducing new restrictions aimed at slowing the spread as the holidays approach.
You put that rate of increase together with an additional increase from the high level of social activity, that is a dangerous situation.
And with a big spike expected after Thanksgiving, public health officials are urging folks to get back to basics with social distancing. At least 38 states are now requiring face masks in public, and some are now stepping up enforcement of those rules.
Masks work both to protect you as the wearer and to protect you from spreading the virus, and we shouldn't have to mandate people caring for one another.
Meanwhile, a growing number of businesses are saying they may not survive this second shutdown, and they're asking for lawmakers to extend emergency benefits through the end of the year.
There's not a lot of time left for them available to the unemployment money. Going into holiday season, supporting their families with no jobs, I feel terrible for each and every one.
And as the holiday season approaches, workers at some big retailers like Walmart are asking for hazard pay and safer working conditions. In New York, Laura Ingle, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor one of our 4 state heroes. Ralph Schaefer served in the U.S. Navy during World War II. He was a radio operator. We are proud to thank Ralph Schaefer, a native of Iola, Kansas. He's tonight's 4 state hero. Have a sad note to pass along: the death of a member of the KOAM family. Matt Newberry joined us back in 2016 in Master Control and later became the Master Control Supervisor. He loved sports, spent years working with Pitt State, also the MIAA. Matt was one of the driving forces behind our annual Pigskin Preview. Matt was a colleague. More importantly, he was a friend, and we will miss him.
Well, we've definitely had another day of showers, thunderstorms across the region. Intense line of thunderstorms have been rolling through over about the past hour or so. Haven't seen the sun though in a couple days, but thankfully by Thanksgiving we'll start to get back where we get some sunshine and actually pretty nice weather conditions. Big batch of thunderstorms rolled through earlier this morning. And then we've been watching this intense line, which has been pushing quickly off toward the east-northeast over the past, couple hours. It's going to move out just as quickly as it moves in, but it has been pretty intense. You can see all the numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. So we're looking Barton County, Jasper County, Newton County, McDonald County, Benton County, and still a sliver of Delaware, Ottawa, Cherokee, Crawford counties as this line, it's booking off toward the east at about 40 miles per hour or so. The northern part of the viewing area is just seeing stronger storms. So you can see from Mound City to Fort Scott, Nevada, you will get showers and thunderstorms, some strong ones, but most likely not severe. As we drop into the metro, you can see the very intense line. So where you get these brighter oranges and brighter reds showing us very intense rain. We're getting winds at 55 to 60, and then we've had upwards of dime size hail. So not the biggest hail with these storms, but a lot of it. So a lot of areas it has covered the ground, and then it's starting to let up just a little bit once you cross the state line into southeastern parts of Kansas. But really, here's Liberal. So you can see this intense line. So if we look where the severe part of the cell is going to go, Lamar will be in your neck of the woods here in about 15 minutes, much the same. Jasper, so along I-49, Carthage also here in about 15 minutes. We can track a little farther south, moving into Neosho now. Diamond here in about 10 minutes. You'll start to get into this line. And then as we go a little farther south, you can see from Goodman, Anderson, Pineville, it's right on your back doorstep. And then once you get into Southwest City, that's where you're seeing the showers and thunderstorms now. So this whole line will push east. So it'll get into Berry County, Lawrence County, Dade counties here in about 35 to 40 minutes. And then behind it, we don't have to deal with too much. We just have kind of moderate rain. So you can see all of Kansas and Oklahoma now, your severe threat has pretty much gone down, as the most intense side of the storm is in southwestern parts of Missouri. It's going to be completely gone by about 11 p.m. We'll still get some rain on the backside, but at least the intense storms. And then we dry out. As we go into the morning hours, the backside of the system is going to rotate through. This will give us some random showers tomorrow morning, and then I think we look pretty good by the time we head into the afternoon hours for us tomorrow. Oop, went a little too far on that one. But showers, thunderstorms lasting into the morning hours, and then we'll be setting up pretty good. We'll do the 7-day and all second half hour. We'll deal with severe weather this.
Yeah. You got a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a ton going on. It's late November. We usually don't get much severe weather in November, but it's what we got.
We appreciate it, Doug, as always. Thanks, man. Coming up, more of the future Biden administration taking shape.
President-elect Joe Biden introduces his nominees to fill key cabinet positions. I'm Ray Bogan with a look at some of the historic choices coming up.
President-elect Joe Biden making history this afternoon when he formally announced several of his cabinet picks and national security nominations. We also heard from President Trump, who made an impromptu appearance in the White House briefing room. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogan has the latest on that. Also, a record day on Wall Street.
In one of his first moves since the Trump administration approved the start of the presidential transition, President-elect Joe Biden formally introduced his picks to head his national security and foreign policy teams.
The team meets this moment. This team behind me. They embody my core beliefs that America is strongest when it works with its allies.
Biden says naming former Secretary of State John Kerry as his new climate czar reflects his administration's priorities.
For the first time ever, there will be a principal on the National Security Council who can make sure climate change is on the agenda in the Situation Room.
Biden also made history by nominating the first woman to lead the U.S. intelligence community, as well as the first Latino to head Homeland Security. At the White House, President Trump carried out a long-standing annual holiday tradition, pardoning the national Thanksgiving turkey and selecting Iowa native corn over his look-alike partner, Cobb.
I hereby grant you a full pardon.
Ahead of the ceremony, the president took a victory lap to boast that the stock market surpassed 30,000 points.
That's a sacred number, 30,000. Nobody thought they'd ever see it.
The new all-time stock market high was driven in part by optimism for a coronavirus vaccine and reports that Biden is selecting Janet Yellen to be his Treasury Secretary. Ray Bogan, Fox News.
Just ahead, going to check out some pretty cool toys, educational toys. Let's keep the kids' attention, also keep your budget happy, hopefully. Like many of us know, right? 2020 has been an interesting year, and Oxford English Dictionary, otherwise known as OED, agrees. The OED traditionally names a certain word for every year. This year, and not so much. According to a new report released by the publishing company, quote, 2020 is not a year that could neatly be accommodated in one single word of the year. I like that neatly part. The report itself was entitled Words of an Unprecedented Year because of the word unprecedented was one of the most popular words. The words bushfire and impeachment were popular in January, followed by acquittal in February. Since March, terms relating to the coronavirus like COVID-19, lockdown, and social distancing were some of the most frequently used words in all of the English language. I got one word, dizzy. Goodness gracious, all this stuff happening makes you dizzy. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way.
We speak with the Carthage Crisis Center on how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the way they are conducting their Thanksgiving feast this year. I'm Caitlin Shive, that's coming up.
One way to genuinely send a thank you is with free, good food, of course. That's what happened to several frontline workers in Joplin. A donation to the Carthage Bright Futures will help students in a couple of ways. We're going to hear more. Also, an updated look at how crime is surging in many cities across this country. With the holidays just around the corner, we're going to take a look at some of the best educational and budget-friendly toys that will help kids take a break from the screen, bring them closer to the families also. Fox's Steve Rappaport has this story.
Cats versus Pickles! The holidays are almost here, and there's plenty of hot new toys that may help bring some joy to this year's holiday festivities.
A lot of the best gifts are going to be the ones that families can play together. So we're looking at things like games, toys, and activities that will help us pass the time, even if we're stuck inside.
With so many kids learning virtually due to the coronavirus pandemic, the big focus this year is on screen-free educational toys.
The Circuit Explorer sets from Educational Insights are amazing screen-free learning toys because they're going to teach kids all about circuitry without even using a screen. So these 3 building sets, they come in a rocket, a rover, or a deluxe space station, are all space themed. They have the actual circuitry markings on the outside that kids can line up. So they can build these really cool 3D play sets that feature lights, sounds, and motion.
Incoherent Family Edition card game brings everyone together for some silly fun.
This is a game that challenges players to read gibberish off of cards, and their team has to try to guess what the gibberish is. So while you're saying all of these silly words and phrases, the whole family will be laughing out loud.
The classic toy, Mr. Potato Head, is teaching kids great habits for the future by going green.
The potato figure, which looks more like a realistic potato than usual, he's got a couple more dimples and things, plus the 14 accessory pieces that come with him are all made from sustainable plant-based plastics derived from sugar cane.
And there are toys available that won't break the bank.
The Toy Insider has a full 12 under 12 list, which features 12 of the hottest toys of the year, all under $12. Some of my favorites from this list include Sepia's Cat vs. Pickles plush, Hexbug's Junk Bots, and Sunny Days Entertainment Ravel Tales.
Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
There you go. All right, if you could use one word to describe 2020, what would that word be? Going to hear how a dictionary tackled this project when we come back. Pandemic is changing the way some people celebrate Thanksgiving, and it's changing how the Carthage Crisis Center is handling its Thanksgiving feast that helps feed people in need, of course. KOAM's Caitlin Shive gives us a look at their preparations.
Preparations are underway for the Carthage Crisis Center's annual Thanksgiving feast to feed those in need.
It really is one of our biggest events of the year. We typically feed about 400 people in the community. On a normal occasion, we feed them in-house, and then we also deliver meals to people in the community who aren't able to come out.
But this year, because of the pandemic, things will look a little differently with a focus on to-go meals and only family members of residents allowed inside.
They're able to have family members come in, provided they're completely clear of any COVID-related symptoms, and they're able to sit down with their family members socially distanced throughout our building so they can have Thanksgiving dinner.
Karen Anderson has been a resident at the Crisis Center for almost 10 months now and was relieved to know she could still celebrate the holiday with family.
It was uplifting.
But she also wanted to help out where she could, using her time to prepare the to-go meals.
I always help out whenever and wherever I can, so it's my way of giving back.
They are prepping around 400 meals for the community with contactless delivery, and volunteers for preparations are being kept small for safety purposes.
We've had such amazing support from the community, my own personal family, coming in to help prepare food to make sure that we have enough so that no one goes without.
Each community member will get a hot and cold box full of classic Thanksgiving food, something those at the center worried wouldn't happen this year, but are thankful that it is.
Sometimes the holidays are really hard. Sometimes they're challenging enough. And so if we can be a bright spot and if we can be a place of reprieve for someone to know that they've been taken care of and they've been thought of, we want to do it. So then our shift focus changed and we wanted to say, okay, so how can we do this? It's not a matter of can we, how can we do it?
In Carthage, Caitlin Shive, KOAM News.
Senator also wants to thank the community for all their donations to help out with the Thanksgiving feast this year. Workers at Mercy Hospital in Joplin had the chance to get some free grub from a new restaurant. Damien Tyrgill from Krabby's in Joplin recently opened Blackstone Gastropub, and today he brought 160 lunches, food from Blackstone Gastropub, to the frontline workers at Mercy. Tyrgill hopes the workers enjoy the food, but more importantly, got the sincere message of thanks.
I just felt something inside that I had to do something to say that how much we appreciate them and how much we care for them, and hopefully encourage others to do the same.
Tyrgill hopes more restaurant owners will give free lunches and dinners to frontline workers as a unique way of saying thanks. Well, if you're looking for an alternative to the Joplin Christmas parade, since it's been canceled now, the Joplin Parks and Rec Department today opened the new holiday tree trail at Mercy Park. The trail features a series of decorated trees, as we're seeing right there, from area businesses and organizations. The public can vote in a tree decorating contest.
Being able to do it outside this year and still let people gather with their families and enjoy a great holiday experience is definitely something that we still wanted to be able to do this year.
The holiday tree trail will be up until January 1st. Joplin Parks and Rec Department hosted a public meeting today to get public input on the future of Joplin's parks. The department is trying to figure out their 10-year master plan, and many of the residents said they wanted more mountain bike trails.
Skateboarders, mountain bikes, trail connectivity, BMX bike tracks. Those citizens, really have come out tonight really wanting to, say, hey, this is what we want in Joplin. We don't have it.
Joplin Parks and Rec Department is working with Landworks Studio in Kansas for this master plan. Knights of Columbus presented Carthage Bright Futures a $5,000 check. Some of that money will be used to provide lunches for students.
We saw this as being a real great cause for the community. There's a lot of young people that don't get a chance to eat a warm meal every day. As being a service organization, a Christian-based organization.
Now, that $5,000 check will also be used for the Carthage Bright Futures Vision Project, a mission to help every child see the chalkboard or marker board or projection board, whatever board, at the front of the classroom. You never know in 2020, right? 2021 these days. Empire District Electric customers will see lower bills soon. A residential customer using 1,000 kilowatt hours will see a $2.33 decrease a month. Empire says this decrease reflects fuel and purchased power costs. This decrease in bills will start December 1st of this year. GM General Motors is recalling nearly 6 million SUVs, also pickup trucks here in the U.S. due to potentially dangerous Takata airbags. The recall is for 2007 to 2014 Cadillac, Chevrolet, and GMC models. 18 people have been killed by shrapnel from exploding Takata airbag inflators. The federal government rejected an argument by GM yesterday that this version of the problematic airbag didn't need replacing. It's not just the winter COVID spike the incoming Biden administration will confront on day one. America's police chiefs are detailing an alarming surge in homicides and aggravated assaults. This is particularly true in those major cities which had large-scale protests over police-involved killings. Fox News correspondent Jillian Turner takes a look tonight.
Nationwide, homicides are up nearly 28%, aggravated assaults 9%.
As police in San Jose tonight comb through the church crime scene where multiple people were stabbed, America's mayors and police chiefs are sounding the alarm.
I've got almost 500 people who've been shot and wounded in this city.
In Minneapolis, homicides are up 89% compared to this time a year ago, a 15-year record. This while over 100 of the city's police officers are currently out of commission following protests over the Memorial Day killing of George Floyd.
Every day that we go back and forth on this, people are dying in our city. I'm saying we need more resources today and right now.
Law enforcement leaders worry officers are suffering from PTSD after dealing with large-scale protests accompanied by looting and arson over many months.
They're worn out. These officers are tired, especially, the officers in homicide unit and assaults and robberies.
All across America, but especially in cities beset by large-scale anti-police protests, homicide rates are skyrocketing, according to a report from the Major Cities Chiefs Association. Louisville has seen a 79% increase, Portland 68%, and Milwaukee 110%. Law enforcement sources tell Fox News it's the double whammy of coronavirus and anti-police uprisings that is wreaking havoc on local forces.
We need a more significant presence in hot spots in our city where crime is frankly out of control.
The next administration will confront this challenge head on January 20th.
What I'm going to do as President of the United States is call together an entire group of people at the White House, well, everything from the civil rights groups to the police officers, to the police chiefs, and we're going to work this out.
Now, there is a silver lining for big cities. 73% are reporting decreases in robberies and 86% decreases in rapes. Our sources are telling us this is because there are less people out and about on city streets during this pandemic. In Washington, Jillian Turner, Fox News.
A bit later, the pandemic version of tourism.
The pandemic is forcing cities and towns to get creative to try and keep the visitors coming. I'm Rick Leventhal with a look at tourism amid the coronavirus.
Well, it's definitely turned out to be a wild day for us today. We've had showers, we've had thunderstorms through the morning hours, and then a little bit of a break, and then more thunderstorms have been blowing through over the past 2 or 3 hours, and these are the guys that have been strong to severe as they have worked through over the past about 2 hours. A pretty intense line. It's moving very quickly, 40 to 45 miles per hour. So it didn't even get into our western viewing area, the counties in our western viewing area, until about 8. So in about an hour and a half, it's gone almost 3/4 of the viewing area, and it's just plowing off toward the east-northeast. It's a small line, doesn't last long, but it's very intense as it rolls through. Now on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side, where you see all this yellow and a little bit of orange, this is just moderate rain now. The most intense line from Nevada stretching all the way down into McDonald County. So we still have severe thunderstorm warnings in Barton, Jasper, Newton, McDonald, and then Berry, Lawrence, and Dade counties have just recently popped up as they continue to work into our far eastern counties. So let's go ahead, zoom in. Intense storms still right down I-49 from Nevada, and then we can track south along I-49 all the way over toward Lamar, just outside of Stockton. Then let's track a little farther south and east into eastern parts of Jasper County. So the worst is now through Carthage. We go a little bit farther south, right on top of Sarcoxie, and then down right along the county line of Newton County, and then Lawrence and also Berry County. So all the way down just to the northwest of Cassville near Purdy. And then we can track a little farther south and west into eastern parts of McDonald County, and then kind of a glancing blow once you get into northern parts of Benton County. But all this is going to be working into Berry County, Monette, Aurora, Cassville, Lockwood, and then all the way up towards Stockton Lake. So most of us have already gotten through these storms. So behind it, we're getting some rain. On the very back side of the storm, we'll get a few showers later on tonight, but most of the strong, severe weather's out of here in the next 30 minutes. We'll get these random showers tomorrow morning, early in the morning, and then most of this will pass right on by. So we'll start the day, a few random showers and then a few clouds, and then the clouds are really going to hang tight most of the day. So as we go into the afternoon, just mostly cloudy skies, and our temperatures, they're going to struggle to warm up. 44 to start, 47 by noon, High temp right around 49 degrees as we head into the afternoon hours. We'll start to clear out a little bit by the time we head into tomorrow night. So a cold start for Thanksgiving morning, but Thanksgiving afternoon looks fantastic. We get a southerly wind, and we're going to pop all the way up.
The winter high school sports season will begin on time in Kansas. The Kansas State High School Activities Association's Board of Directors voted today to allow the season to begin as scheduled on December 1st. And with the vote today, the board also approved a break in competition that extends from December 23rd to January 7th. A previous proposal would have pushed the start date of competition back to January 15th. Now, the winter sports season in Kansas just a week away.
It's huge. I've been trying to get my guys excited for our first event, but with this, uncertain times, we kind of don't know, so it's kind of hard to get pumped up and excited for our first event, which is December 3rd over in Seneca, Missouri. But now we have a date. Now we know we're going to do it, so now we can really push towards that, and I'm just excited to get started.
While the season will begin on time, the board voted today to not allow fans at events through January 28th. Tonight is a season opener for the Joplin High School boys basketball team. Now, it's definitely a new look Joplin team after losing 4 of 5 starters. All that's left is Always Right from last winter. Joplin hits the floor against McDonald County this evening in game number 1. Always Right, straight to work, right to the rim for the first 2 of the night. Later in the first, back to the rim for Wright. He had 14 in the first half. Other end, Mustangs hang around. Sterling Woods open for 3. McDonald County within 1 after 1. Second quarter, though, Dante Washington got hot. Scores and the foul. 14 for Washington in the second quarter alone. Finished with 20. That guy right there, Always Right. He's the guy. Top of the key. Good from 3. Then in the fourth, Wright. Good again from long range. He made 6 threes. Finished with 32 points. Joplin wins its home opener tonight, beating McDonald County 80-60. Across town from that one, the McCauley girls opening up the season against Liberal tonight. We'll start things in the first. Through traffic, that's Kaylee Teeter. Warriors up 2. She had a game-high 14. Then, off the glass there for Chloe Williamson. She finished with 9 on the night. Later in the first, Williamson again. This time, dropping in the 3 to push the lead to 6. A Liberal tries to answer late in the third. Bucket from Gracie Bott brings the Bulldogs within 9. However, McCauley holds on to the lead. They win their opener 45-33. Both the Pittsburgh State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions are on the floor tonight. Missouri Southern is on the road against Central Missouri. On the women's side, Lions try to pick up their first win after a pair of tight losses last week. Southern, though, falls in this one 78-52. Caitlin Honeycutt scores 14 for the Lions. As for the men, they aim for a 3-0 start against the Mules. Cam Martin leads the way with 23. Lions win that one 67-58. Pittsburgh State in Wichita this evening facing Newman. Gorilla women get their first win, beating the Jets 61-49. 22 points, 6 assists tonight for Kaylee Demitz. The PSU men win a good one 72-70. Bobby Arthur Williams had 17. The Gorilla men now 2-0 to start the year. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Americans are being told to stay put this week to avoid crowded transportation hubs, large gatherings as well. But outside the holidays, cities and towns want you to visit and insist there are reasons to travel despite the shutdowns. Fox News senior correspondent Rick Leventhal reports.
Tourism continues taking a major hit during the pandemic. New York City drew a record 66.6 million visitors in 2019 and was on pace for even more this year, according to its tourism agency, until COVID came along. One forecast doesn't expect a full rebound for at least 4 years. The Big Apple now turning to staycationers to try and make up some of the lost revenue.
Our organization has recently launched an NYC Neighborhood Getaways program, which includes 250 offers at hotels and attractions.
New Orleans is another tourist-dependent city trying to salvage its biggest attraction, Mardi Gras. The Big Easy now hard at work on a virtual parade, allowing smartphone users to create their own avatar and trade virtual beads.
Mardi Gras will go on in 2021. It will just look a little bit different.
But some worry governments are shortchanging their neediest residents by focusing on visitors who may not materialize. Baltimore has launched a multi-million-dollar ad campaign promoting tourism amid the pandemic, assuring out-of-towners there's still plenty to see and do.
Taxpayers as well as tourism for the city of Baltimore would probably be far better off if these funds were directed to providing PPE for small businesses or providing property tax relief.
More than ever, the West is relying on outdoor attractions. States like Colorado and Arizona are hyping the region's natural beauty, where social distancing isn't much of a concern. In case you're wondering, here in California, Disneyland is still closed and may not reopen until next summer. In Los Angeles, Rick Leventhal, Fox News.
Gotta check out the movies and music now available to bring home when we come back. A popular speed demon, a mobster, and a hit woman. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin runs down a list of new digital, DVD, and album releases.
The place Sonic! The popular speed demon Sonic the Hedgehog races to the top of what's new in home entertainment. The blockbuster hit returns to home video in a new limited collector's edition Blu-ray combo.
A friend of ours is having a little trouble.
Martin Scorsese's mob drama The Irishman chronicles the life of Robert De Niro's character Frank Sheeran, a World War II veteran and hitman involved with the 1975 disappearance of labor union leader Jimmy Hoffa, played by Al Pacino.
Why would someone not want you to be alive anymore?
Jessica Chastain stars in the action thriller Ava. She plays a black ops assassin who is forced to fight for her survival when a job goes wrong.
All right, boys, here we go!
Josh Duhamel wrote, directed, and stars in Buddy Games. The comedy follows a group of lifelong friends who reunite for a competition of absurd physical and mental challenges with a chance to win a huge cash prize.
There's no amount of money that is worth this.
From TV to DVD, season 5 of the hit AMC series Better Call Saul, starring Bob Odenkirk. And for music fans, Miley Cyrus's 7th album, Plastic Hearts, features 12 original songs, including the new single Prisoner with British singer Dua Lipa. Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with a video of penguins checking out Chicago's Soldier Field. Be safe. Da Bears. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.